Bim, you are watching the Big Bossman Roundtable on Blowing Tears, hosted by your main man, the number one chief rocker, Uncle Freezy. I am joined by the Big Boss Man himself, and we got a topic that we can't wait to talk about with you guys. With no further ado, the Big Boss Man himself, Woodshed 1914, is in the building. What's good,
What's
boss?
going on, man? What's going on? It's good to be on this side of the dirt, man. It's good to be still
Yeah,
alive, bro.
man.
You know,
It's good to be
so
looking at flowers instead of having flowers look at you.
point
Yeah,
blank.
man.
Ever since I hit 40, bro, I've been legit thankful for every day, man. The older you get, the more friends you lose, the more childhood friends, the more classmates. So,
Yeah, man.
it's anytime you can inhale oxygen, it's a good reason to be positive.
Yeah, man. Wait till you turn 50 and you and your
Ah,
classmates we talk about how your feet swole up and how the doctor got you on medication.
man,
yo, yo.
it's 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 because I'm gonna be honest, man, and I ain't even gonna go back to the '80s. Like I even blink and say, "Dang, the '90s was 30 years ago."
30 years
Like
ago,
like
man.
seriously, bro. Like that '94, '95 series, bro, was
Yeah.
almost 30 years ago.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it'll be 30 years this summer.
Yeah, 30 years, bro.
Yep. That's why,
And
bro. I'm telling you, I think this team right here is better than that 90s team, bro.
yeah, that team, man. Honestly, the Knicks really did Ewing a disservice, bro,
Yeah.
because every other superstar, for the most part, especially when you're looking at the Eastern Conference, they had a legit number two.
Right.
Isaiah Thomas, he had a legit number two. Larry Bird had three legit number twos on
Mm.
his team. That's
Magic
not taking
Johnson,
anything away from him. Magic
Michael
had
Jordan,
three or four number twos. Michael
LeBron
Jordan had a
James.
legit number two. LeBron, yeah, like Ewing, and that's no disrespect to Starks. We love John Starks, by the way, but
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing, he never like if they would have got Allen Houston 2 or 3 years earlier, different story. We rewriting history, but
Right.
they and you hate to see it because even if you go to Melo really never had that legit
Nope.
consistent number two.
Nope.
Porzingis was a baby, and Melo was kind of on the end of his prime when that happened. But
Yep.
we, I think that the situation we have right now is we know we got two number twos right now with Brunson and Randall,
Right.
but can one of them take that next step to become the number one?
Yep.
Yet to be seen.
Yep. I'm telling you, I think what you're looking at right now is Jalen Brunson's evolution into Kevin Johnson. And I
Ooh,
and I- and I know a lot of people don't remember who Kevin Johnson is, and I'm not going to really get into that because people won't they still won't understand how great a player Kevin Johnson was. But at the end of give Jalen Brunson 3 more years, and he'll have a similar career or maybe even better than Kevin Johnson. Right. Right now he's on
that's the
path. Right
ooh.
now, right now, his career is almost better than Tim Hardaway. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you remember Tim Hardaway. A lot of people that watch this channel, they have no idea who Tim Hardaway is. So I won't go there. But what I will say to you though is this: I believe this team 1 through 9 maybe the best team the Knicks have had since Clyde Frazier.
Oh my God. Whew.
Right? Because I mentioned this
Man,
to an old head, and the old head was like, "You y'all young people." Now I'm
man.
talking to an old head now. Y'all young people think that everything newer is better, and then he started naming off them Knicks. He was like, he was like, "Man, Hubert Davis was better than." And as soon as he said Hubert Davis, I was like, "See what I mean?" But Anthony
Yeah, you
Bonner,
reaching.
yeah, you
Yeah,
reaching,
you
bro.
reaching.
You
Yeah.
reaching, bro. You
Yeah.
ain't there's no
Huber
way.
was a situational shooter, bro.
Yeah, there's
We
no
can't
way
be
you're gonna bring up Monty Williams. But they drafted that boy out of Notre Dame, who the Detroit coach. He coached the Pistons. Yeah, he coached the Pistons, man. He coached the Pistons, bro. He wasn't that guy. That guy, he's not. Monty Williams at his prime was not better than Josh Hart is right now. I'm sorry, and I'm not even a Josh Hart fan. You know,
Yeah.
but
And I mean, I guess how much of that is the evolution of the game? I really, but I'll take that back. I won't get a Knicks that pass because they just simply could not build. Like, to me, and this may sound crazy, when you're talking about, I'm gonna say top three picks as far as explosive talent and the ability to carry a franchise in the history of the league. Ewing is top five in that category. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the biggest difference between an Elijah Wan, a Kareem, and a Ewing, and a Shaq, the biggest difference is they went to organizations that knew how to build a championship team around that player.
right,
Because if the shoe had been on the other foot, if Patrick Ewing was playing with prime Scottie Pippen and Jordan had Starks and Derek Harper and Charles Oakley, then we having a different conversation.
we
But
having a different conversation.
I think Starks made and one All-Star game. I think Oakley may have made one or two.
One, yeah, and it may have
But
been the same year. I think they made the All
yeah,
Star team the same year.
but Patrick Ewing never had, like, he had to be on every game.
Every game.
But if he had an off night, the Knicks probably lose.
You know who that reminds me of right now? Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
If Jalen Brunson has an off night or two, the Knicks lose, bro, or or they struggle. Excuse me, or they struggle really, really badly. With that said, I'm gonna pose this to you. I have a question for you. Is this team capable of breaking the curse of not having a championship since such and such and such and such and such?
I believe that they are. And
Okay.
the reason I'm going to say that I believe that they are is sometimes in the NBA, you have an immovable force, right? You have a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You have a Michael Jordan. You have a Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. You got a Kobe and Shaq duo. You got a Tim Duncan. You got a LeBron James. At this moment in the NBA, there's no player. Now there's some great teams. There's no player of that tier where it's like, man, if we had to beat that dude in 7 games,
Right.
I just don't see it. And the reason I'm saying that is because LeBron is on the way out.
Right.
Steph is on the way out. You know what I'm saying? Now there are some great players. Like Luka's a great player, but I don't see that one player. One like, man, if we run up against his team, it's over. Not even the Greek freak, but the team.
I don't think Luka's a winner, bro.
Well, he ain't been a winner in the NBA. He
No.
definitely been a winner in the NBA. And to me, the odd thing about that situation is that him and Brunson was one player away from being champions, in my opinion. I think they were one, but like if they were able to acquire an OG Anunoby type or Julius Randle type on that Dallas squad, to me they'd have been champions. But that's neither here nor there. But I don't see an immovable force. Embiid's not that.
No.
As good a team as they are, Boston's not that. Not even the Nuggets ain't that. So the NBA as a whole is, I'm not going to say it's wide open, but it's available for somebody out of the blue to step up and win a championship. Now with the Knicks, I think the ceiling of this team as it is right now is to be able to slip into the conference finals. Overall, I still don't think that we have enough to beat that Boston team. I still think because at the end of the season, it was almost a consensus that everybody said, okay, the Knicks are one player away. If we get that one player, we can win the East. But now, after Boston had the summer that they had, now you may need a little bit more than that. But what the Knicks do have is they have two guys that are playing like all NBA talents. They got a coach, to everyone's chagrin, that has everyone in an ideal role.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff they used to run to try and get three guys a lot of shots, they're not doing anymore.
Okay.
So the ball is moving. And I think they have a team and a coach that's good enough to win a championship. But I still think they may need one more piece and somebody to create.
Right. Right. Um, let me say this. I think today we're better than Boston.
Damn.
Yep. I think honestly, I think today we are better than Milwaukee. Right. I think and how you ever heard that term addition by subtraction?
Oh yeah.
I think the Knicks are better today because Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson don't have to drag the corpse of RJ Barrett's game.
Mm.
And listen, it sounds like I'm kicking him in the back, right? And it sounds like, what I'm saying, it sounds like, saying I'm spitting on a corpse, right? No, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm actually saying is you see more ball movement today than you saw ball movement with RJ Barrett here. You see that instead of, you know how in Woodshed, you and I are on Twitter a lot, right? And our mate people kick Randall in the skull, saying that Julius Randall holds the ball too long and he don't recognize double teams, and
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson just dribble. Without RJ Barrett, have you noticed any of that stuff?
No, I haven't. And one thing they've also gotten rid of. Remember that continuity or that system they used to run
The three
with the
man
dribble
weave up
handoff.
top to try to keep
Yes,
RJ
yes,
Barrett. Yes.
yes. To get him downhill over and over all game long.
Yeah.
They don't do it anymore. Now it's real. Technically, it's really spread the floor.
Yep.
We're gonna run pick and roll, hard, DiVincenzo, OG. If you see the back of your man's head, you should be going to the basket.
Going to the
I
basket.
hard, Randall or Brunson will find you. If you see the back of your defender's head, you need to be going to the rim.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing and they're playing instinctual basketball.
Your
But I
man,
agree.
if your man snoozing, he losing. That's just
Yeah.
basically it.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing. If you watch the game, if you watch, especially if you watch Hart, DiVincenzo, and Ananobi, anytime they see the back of that defender's head, they cut to the basket.
They're cutting to the
And
basket.
and you got Isaiah Hardenstein is really the reason the floor is spread more so than even the shooters with DiVincenzo and Ananobi in the corner, because this dude can legit operate from the high post. We haven't had a player to do that. It's been decades. Like, he's legitimately operating from the high post. He's
Right.
finding cutters. He's finding slashers, and he's dropping dimes, bro.
And you know what? You know what? And to the chat for everybody watching, that is where the modern NBA big man operates.
Yep.
Right? Don't try to outthink us on this. Don't try to outthink us. Or just take this in as information. This is for information purposes only. I'm not saying this to be right. I'm saying this because I want everybody to be on the same page. When you watch Joel Embiid, when you watch Jokic, when you watch Giannis, when you watch KD, when you watch modern bigs over 6'9", 6'10", right? They operate at the top of the key because it's harder to double team a big man from that area. Plus, a big man with court vision can see people poking at the ball and all that stuff. He can see them from a mile away, right? And so you put Randall in that spot now. You put Hartenstein in that spot now. And now you have room for athletic wing players like DiVincenzo and OG Anunoby to cut to the basket and get dunks in the half court. But you couldn't operate from that point before we had RJ Barrett on the floor. I like RJ Barrett. I love RJ Barrett as a person. I like his game. But listen, everything you buy, every bit of clothes you buy from the store is not going to fit sometimes you got to take stuff back, right?
Yeah.
Everything is not going to be a
Yeah.
perfect fit. We tried it, it didn't fit. RJ somewhere else, have a good career, right? In terms of the Knicks, now, what's the last time you saw a Knicks small forward get three dunks in a half court in one game multiple times in the same week?
Man, you talking? Oh,
You talking
you
about
probably got to
Bernard
go
King,
back.
bro? We talking Bernard
Yeah, I was
King.
gonna say you got to go back to Bernard. The Kenny Skywalker may have had a game or two here and there,
Two,
but
yeah,
you legit talking about 30 years ago.
yeah, bro. A Knicks, is not just a Knicks small forward, but a Knicks shooting guard, a Knicks small forward, or some type of wing player, right? Like a 6'8", 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", bouncy wing that gets a dunk in the half court. When was the last time you saw that? Now, if that coincides with OG Anunoby, remember, in order for us to get OG Anunoby, we had to get rid of someone else, right? And that person that we traded for OG, RJ Barrett, wasn't getting us dunks in the half court 3 times a game all week long, right? I mean, I know it sounds bizarre for me to say it, but it's basketball, folks.
And that's not an NBA thing because most other teams have, like, even the trash Trailblazers have Jeremy Grant who can get you that. That's a
Shaden
Knicks
Sharp,
thing, bro.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a Knicks thing. Like, I think because of his robotic movement in nature, people don't understand how athletic OG is. Like, the dude is extremely
Or
athletic.
just an average small forward,
Yeah, yeah. But the
right?
Knicks haven't had that. Because you're right about RJ. RJ, man, I won't go as far as to say he plays below the rim, but
Oh yeah, he
he
plays below the rim.
he definitely wasn't somebody that's going to get you explosive. Like these dunks, these reverse dunks that OG's getting off of 1 feet, 2 feet, like you
Right,
didn't see that. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right. OG Anunoby is catching the ball under the rim and just going straight up and dunking.
Yeah, vertically.
Remember last night they got him a pass under the basket. He just easily just reverse dunk easily.
Right. Those are easy baskets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's the small. I think the whole fan base in unison has been talking about needing a wing, bro, for the better part of. Oh man, you're talking about some
Yeah.
years, bro. Talking about
Yeah.
for some years. You
Yeah.
know, like I think we really fell behind during the Phil Jackson era because he completely ignored athleticism,
Right.
with the exception of Porzingis, who was 7'3". Like he ignored it. Like we brought in point guards like Jerry Grant and Shane Larkin.
But
Um,
both of them
oh,
were athletic though. Jerry
OJ
and Grant was
Chamberlain.
super athletic. He just didn't have skills. Remember, he was a 4-year starter at Notre Dame. He was a superior athlete, but he was
Yeah,
probably more like Pat Connaughton. And that,
yeah, he's a grown man.
yeah. But Shane Larkin was a pretty good athlete. He just wasn't vertically explosive, but he was fast, bro. Remember, Shane Larkin was
Like
fast, bro.
like we played Ron Baker in the backcourt, bro. You
Yeah,
know, like and it kind of filtered over into the Mills era. I think that because if you think just before that, you had Shumpert, you had Jr. God, they were more so twos and
yeah.
threes, but
Sean Williams, Bill Walker.
right, right, Billy Walker.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you had some athletes that could get up and down the floor, man. But we kind of abandoned that. But I
And
think when we
remember
talk about
Phil Jackson was brought in to clean out all those weird CAA ties where we wasn't
yep,
signing or trading anybody. Remember I think we could have signed. I think we could have traded for Chris Paul or not Chris. It was somebody we could have traded for that was not a CAA client, and we decided to sign J.R. Smith brother Chris Smith out of Louisville.
yep, I remember that.
Yeah. So yeah, he Phil Jackson was brought in to do too much stuff at one time. Yeah, he just wasn't up for the challenge. He did in that craziness where CAA ran the building. He did clean that up, but after that, he didn't add anybody. He was adding dudes like Clee Anthony early.
Yeah, and that
Andy
Clee
Routledge,
Anthony
Landry
situation
Fields.
was
Yeah.
yeah, Clee Anthony was a sad story, bro. Very
Yeah.
sad story.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Yeah. He was a good college player. He was RJ Barrett before RJ Barrett. He was just a bigger version of RJ, bro. That's all he was. And he
Didn't we
was
draft Clee Anthony over Jokic?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah. And why wouldn't Jokic fit the triangle better than Clee Anthony early?
Right. Yep.
A big man, big man that can pass from everywhere on the floor, dribble, pass, and shoot. I don't know what he was thinking, bro.
You could have had Jokic and Porzingis because Jokic was the year after, right?
Year before?
Easily the year before, yeah.
Yeah, because it's 2024 now, right? And that draft was the 2024 draft, I think. And Porzingis was the 2015 draft, I think. Right. And then no pick in 2016. And then Frank was 2017. And Knox was 2018. And RJ was 2019. And Obi was 2020. And Obi and Quickly were 2020. And 2021 was Grimes. Nothing in 2022. Nothing in 2023. Yeah.
We got to talk about that though, because drafting has always been an issue for the Knicks. Like if you go back and you look at all the picks since the Ewing pick in '85, I'll say that not teams that have used our pick, but as far as picks the Knicks have actually made, I don't think they drafted a single player in those. We moved what? 85, like basically 85, 15. You're looking at almost 40 years. I don't know if they drafted a single player that you look at their career and say, "Oh man, that guy going to the Hall of Fame."
Since Pat? No. No, since Pat, no.
No. And that's like 36 years, bro.
And to be honest with you, outside of Pat, you can almost go back 60 years. In 60 years of drafting. In 60 years of drafting, the Knicks don't draft Hall of Famers, bro. You know, the thing about the last Hall of Famer I think we drafted was Clyde Frazier.
It's insane.
Yeah, because think about after Clyde, you drafted Ray Williams, you drafted Bill Cartwright, Mike Woodson, Kurt Rambis, and then
I don't think
Darren
Mark
Walker.
Jackson will get in.
Huh?
I don't think Mark Jackson will get in, man.
I forgot about Mark Jackson. I forgot about Mark Jackson and Rod Strickland. Yeah, I forgot about them too. Those two also. Yeah. I think Mark Jackson deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as an Indiana Pacer.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they let him in. But in terms of drafting, period, like when you start talking, when you went to the Porzingis pick, cool. But when you started to go further and further down, I started to cringe because I'm like,
you don't remember? You didn't like the Michael Jackson pick?
Oh my God!
You didn't like Michael Jackson? You didn't like Kenny Skywalker?
My God!
You don't remember all those years? All we did was draft light skinned dudes that were photogenic.
Yeah, I'm not the
photogenic light skinned dudes.
They had a type, but I mean, just think about that though. Like so many opportunities. Even if we just go back 10 years, there were so many opportunities to get. Like, because honestly, Donovan Mitchell is trending towards a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah,
he really is. Just what he's done in the league off the bat and what he's still doing in the league. He's trending towards a Hall of Fame player. We ain't got to talk about Steph Curry.
No,
obvious Hall of Fame player. And then that
DeMar DeRozan.
Right, DeRozan. Was the
in
next
that
pick.
same draft I keep telling people this and they think I'm crazy, right? They like, yo, man, we missed out on Steph Curry. Okay, we missed out on Steph Curry, but we didn't miss out on that draft. We messed that draft up because
Yeah,
when Steph Curry came off the board, we could have easily took Drew Holiday,
yeah, or Brandon
right?
James.
Yeah, or DeMar DeRozan, who went
Yeah,
the pick after us. Yeah, we called what's the name? I keep forgetting his name. Hill.
Jordan Hill.
Jordan Hill. Yeah, we picked Jordan Hill and Toronto pulled a hamstring running up to running up to the stage, start calling DeMar DeRozan name. Right? Like how in the world are you gonna yeah, man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You're gonna pass
We
on Drew Holiday and DeMar DeRozan because Steph Curry went before you. So instead, you went to your usual. Listen, how I know the Knicks are drafting a bust, they draft a power forward. Anytime I hear the Knicks gonna outside of Porzingis, let me rephrase that. Let me restate that. Outside of Porzingis, every power forward they ever drafted that I saw wound up being absolutely garbage. And I'm talking about Basura. I'm talking about dumpster juice in a hot sun trash, right? But it's a new day. It's a new day. I don't want to bash this front office or this regime based on the sins of the father. What I would ask you is how good do you think um hey Walker gonna distract me with Mike Sweetney? Is he
uh,
because
I knew that name was coming.
I was thinking John Thomas, John no H John. But Donald Cannon, thank you for the generous contribution. He says better than Clyde. How many happy hours you done had today? Front lean and rest. Nah, I know. I'm saying since Clyde Frazier and them. I'm not saying that this 1 through 9 is better than them. I'm saying this is probably the best 1 through 9 since that time. But let me ask you this: how good do you think OG Anunoby will be as a Knick?
I will put it this way. I think that OG is going to fall somewhere between uh, Meta World Peace and Kawhi Leonard. Now,
Ooh,
how good
which
he can
which
be for
which
this
Meta
team,
World Peace? Which
but
Ron Artest? Because Prime Ron
Houston.
Artest, in my opinion, is better than Prime Kawhi.
Oh, you talking about the Sacramento or Houston?
No, I'm talking about Indiana Ron Artest.
Indiana. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not. Nah, I said Meta World Peace. So
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Now, Ron Artest is right to me is right up there with Kawhi because Ron Artest he should have been the 0405 MVP, but that's
Should have
another
been.
discussion.
Should have
Um,
been. But
but but
politics prevent. You can't have a
well,
thug be a
let me rephrase that. Meta World Peace, and then I put Kawhi and Ron at that same air because honestly, if he puts it together offensively, he can legitimately be the best player on that team. Like legitimately the best player on that team.
right.
And if you look at the template, I don't see any reason that Tibbs can't do with OG what he did with Jimmy Butler, which is develop that guy into a complete offensive player and just a bona fide star all around.
Right.
So in my opinion, I think the ceiling for him on this team is to be the best player. Does that mean he's gonna be the number one option? No.
No.
But I think he can develop into being really the best player on his team.
Okay. Okay. So what will it take? Oh, okay. So the Hornets officially say that LaMelo is not on the trading block. Did you have a thing on that either way? Chat, what y'all think?
My connection went out for a second. Say that one more.
Okay. Um, um, the Hornets say LaMelo Ball is not on the trading block. How you feel about that?
That means they saying send me offers. That's what it means because
That's exactly what I
anytime you
get
have
from that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
when you announce this out of the blue, like this guy's not on the trade block, that means send me offers. You know what I'm
That's
saying? That's like
exactly what that
yeah,
means.
yeah, yeah. That's what that means.
And
But
here's the thing: is Lamelo clutch or CAA?
hmm,
Because if he's neither, we may as well start the Lamelo hype train right now.
yeah, I think he would love to play in New York, man.
He's Lamelo is Rock Nation.
Yeah, I think he would love to play in New York. You know, that's where LeVar wanted him to go from jump.
Lamelo Ball is Rock Nation.
Yeah, I think we can get. I think we could. And see, but the conversation there gets kind of tight because you ain't getting Lamelo unless Brunson is in that deal.
You think so?
You ain't. I don't think you're getting him unless Brunson is in that deal. Um, I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to set the Knicks, world on fire. What I would say out of my mouth next, but I'm just gonna stop there. You wouldn't be able to get Lamelo unless Brunson is in that deal.
Let me let
I-
me let me let me counteract what you just said. And chat, listen, we didn't plan this. Woodshed, did we plan this conversation? No, we
no,
did not, right?
nope.
All right. So with that said, chat, I'm just going off the cuff of my sleeve, right? Wood, this is why they do take that trade. Tell me if this 3-team trade works in your opinion. The Obi trade exception, Evan Fournier, 3 first-round picks, all hours unprotected to New Orleans. New Orleans sends Zion to Charlotte, and Charlotte sends LaMelo to the Knicks. What do you think? Is it doable? Or do you think the Knicks would do it?
Give me that trade one more time.
The Knicks send the Obi Toppin trade exception, right? Evan Fournier and his contract, 3 unprotected Knicks picks, and every other year, 24, 26, 28, to New Orleans for Zion. They send Zion to Charlotte, and Charlotte sends LaMelo to the Knicks.
Okay. I had it backwards. Okay. Um, man, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Um, I do think that Tibbs would lose all the rest of his hair coaching Lamelo
Yep.
because
Yep.
Lamelo has the physical ability to be an absolutely monstrous defender. Like his brother Lonzo was a monstrous defender.
Yeah.
Lamelo has the requisite physical skills to be that same monster defender. He really does. Um, I haven't really watched him, to be honest with you. I ain't really watched him this year. I've seen his stat line. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know how his game has matured in
Right.
recent years, but I mean, if you can make that happen, you got to make that happen.
Are you thinking that LaMelo was not a good player?
No, I think he's a great player that is a smidge of development away from being an absolutely elite top 5 type guy. Like, let's be honest. The difference between Shai Gilgeous Alexander and LaMelo is what?
Um, LaMelo doesn't shoot as much as SGA. I think SGA is ball dominant, right? I think LaMelo shoots a lot, but he's a shooting playmaker. And I think what happens is in the case of a LaMelo is for one, you know how we have a conversation and I always tell you that Julius Randle gets the hardest 24 points a game you've ever seen? Like he rarely gets. Well, he's getting them now that RJ's not here, but how Julius Randle rarely got easy buckets. How people on the squad rarely got easy buckets. What I'm
Yeah,
saying, what I'm saying is, I think adding LaMelo will help our field goal percentage, right? Because guys are getting shots, right? They miss the other night. We beat Portland the other night, bro, and we missed 52 shots in an NBA game, bro.
they toyed
Think
with
about
for
that.
them.
We beat an NBA team missing 52 shots, right? What I'm saying is LaMelo comes here and he'll get people easier shots.
Yeah, you said the words. One thing LaMelo would unlock is the easy basket. He had
Hey, you breaking up, boss? Yeah, you breaking up, boss. We didn't hear that last part.
I said I can name about 5 guys on this can catch lobs, but we just don't throw them.
Yeah,
And that's a big part of the modern NBA game is
That lob threat because it pulls gravity towards the rim and it helps the shooters. Like Hardenstein can catch lobs, Randall can catch lobs, Hart can catch lobs,
yeah,
Dante sure enough can catch lobs. You know
yeah,
OG can do it, but
yeah.
it's not even a threat. Like it's not even a threat, man. And
Right,
and I say that's even with Brunson, being much better as a point guard after the trade too. It's just not a threat.
right. I think he is a better. I think, and this is gonna sound strange, man. And so y'all don't take this the wrong way, but I think Jalen Brunson is a better weapon sharing the playmaking duties in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Right. Legit. I think Jalen Brunson legit with a Luka Doncic gravity type player in the backcourt with him unlocks Jalen Brunson as a league MVP type candidate. Right. And I'm talking about candidate. I'm not talking about he's going to win it. I'm talking about now Jalen Brunson is in the conversation like how SGA is in the conversation. Right. Jalen Brunson is in the MVP conversation like De'Aaron Fox is in the MVP conversation. Right. Not a top 5 candidate, but somewhere between 6 and 10. How Kevin Durant is in the MVP conversation. How Devin Booker is in the MVP conversation.
And you know what I take exception to is that a lot of times people are very selective on when they want to hold certain criteria over certain players because if you remember a couple of summers ago when people were talking about Devin Booker, the comment was always, "Oh, well, what has he won? He's not a winner. He's a loser."
Yeah.
And I was listening to Doc Rivers, and they were talking about Phoenix, and he said that of the players on that team, Devin Booker, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to misquote him. Devin Booker is the most committed to winning when it comes to that team,
Okay.
and I think Knicks fans as a whole will be good with going after him. Now, I don't even begin to even. It would probably be a gazillion draft picks um, that we would have to give up, and then Phoenix would have to be in a position where they are going to say, you know what, we're gonna blow this thing up. But if Devin Booker was smart,
I'm getting out of there before Kevin Durant does.
My thing though with Devin Booker is Devin Booker for one is a Phoenix Suns draft pick, right? 2,
that's true.
Devin Booker has never stated behind the scenes or publicly that he was not happy in Phoenix ever.
It's also true.
Like we've never heard you've never heard say Donovan Mitchell in Utah. Donovan, they're like, hey man, extension, blah blah blah. Yeah, we're gonna try to play it out, man. My agent is. Well, anytime people say they agent, they already told their agent get them the hell out of there. But you've never heard, like for instance, the thing with Quickly, right? With Quickly, people are talking like, yo, the Knicks and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, I'm gonna let my agent handle that stuff. Quickly told his agent, man, do what's best for me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing with Devin Booker, and listen, I'm not trying to shoot down your point. It's just I've never heard Devin Booker one way or the other say he's not totally satisfied with what's going on in Phoenix. Right? And we have to be careful too about these 9 and 10-year players. Right? Do we want to catch Devin Booker at that Antonio McKnight stage where he done played, all these years for all these teams, and then we're catching him at the, stage he want to try something different? I'm not saying Devin Booker is there, but I'm saying Devin Booker was drafted in 2015 with Porzingis, right? Now, if something happens this summer, that means Devin Booker will have 9 years in the NBA, 10 years out of high school. Are you sure we want to trade for a 28-year-old?
Well, that part I can't give you any pushback on. See, to me, it will all depend on what we're giving up in that trade. Because if you're finding a creative way to slot Devin Booker into a team that has 3 core pieces of Randall, Brunson, and I don't know, if you're finding a way to slot him in there, brother, we might as well go and make parade plans off the bat.
Off
Like,
yeah.
But if it's a situation where it's like, Phoenix is gonna want to take Randall and Grimes and McBride, and they're also gonna want 4 first-round picks and 3 swaps. Okay, if we doing all that, then
we should pass.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think it's because honestly, I think if Phoenix trades Booker, they're gonna want talent back. They're gonna want comparable, if not a comparable player, a comparable collection of talent.
They're gonna want Brunson.
Yeah, they're gonna want Jalen. I mean, to be honest,
they already have Kevin. They already have Kevin Durant. What are they gonna do with Randall?
Yeah. So I mean, with them, they're gonna want players back because I don't think they can sell that thing. Because Phoenix, man, they've had good stretches, but much like the Knicks, they've had some dog days, man.
Yeah.
They've had some dog days in Phoenix, and they're used to seeing good basketball mostly. Steve Nash, Charles Barkley with Thunder Dan and those boys.
Yeah.
Kevin Johnson and slept on point guard, probably period. But they're used to seeing good basketball.
They're usually good. The thing about Phoenix and what happened is that owner that they got, Robert Sarver, did to the Suns what Daniel Snyder did to the Redskins. Right? Took a franchise that was great every year, and they may not have won every year, but they were competitive every year and had a reputation for being a good team every year, and drove them in the ground over money. Right? Y'all remember how good the Redskins used to be before Daniel Snyder? The Redskins were good every year.
Yeah, they were, and especially in the 90s, the Redskins were contenders. Every single season, the Redskins, because in the 70s and early part of the 80s, the Giants were trash. The Cowboys were kind of coming on the end of their run. The Eagles were okay, but the Redskins with Joe Gibbs, and those hog mollies, some good teams, man. They actually won a Super Bowl with Doug Williams. They had some great teams.
They won a Super Bowl with 3 different quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
Dosman, Williams, and Mark Rippon.
I'm making
Waffle sausages. Oh boy, somebody selling cookies?
He's trying to do something. Hopefully, don't lead to me having to call the fire department.
Right. But yeah, the thing with Phoenix and Devin Booker, if I'm not a real big fan of the Devin Booker thing, because I think it's an ESPN generated rumor. For basketball sense, in a basketball sense, means it makes no sense, right? Why would a shooting guard want to play for Tom Thibodeau? Shooting guards don't thrive under Tom Thibodeau. And if you're asking one of the greatest shooting guards of an era to come play for Tibbs, you're asking him to sacrifice his numbers. Why would Devin Booker leave Phoenix, where he's the man, to come to New York to play second fiddle with a curmudgeon coach?
Well, that's fair because if you look at it, his shooting guards aren't go-to guys and more floor spacer guys. Even if you go back to the Bulls teams, the Minnesota teams, that's why Levine was traded up out of there in the beginning. And,
Yep.
they brought Jimmy in and they had more of a floor spacer at the two. So I mean that's a fair statement to say. I would
Yeah.
hope that Thibodeau is at a point in his career where he's open to anything, and he's open to being more malleable to making changes. But as you pointed out, it's really no guarantee that we see that.
Right. Right. Yo, man, I got a contradiction. Let me read this to you and tell me what you think. Per Shams Sharanya, the New York Knicks are not looking to make a star level splash. Their next trade, if one happens, is to likely be for a guard off the bench to fill the hole left by Quickly's departure. That's according to Shams. What do you think about that?
I think he's telling us what we see. Knicks fans, some of us are the smartest fans, and it's not because we know basketball. It's not because we know X's and O's and we know business. It's because we've seen the Knicks long enough to know what's BS and what's real. Uh,
Right.
this team as is, I don't think that the organization is like to me. If it's me and I got an opportunity to get a star type player, even if it's a DeJounte Murray type, hell, even if it's a DeMar DeRozan type, to plug into that starting lineup, me personally, I would do it. But I can understand being in that building, in the front office or in the locker room, and you saying, "Look, we 5-0. We are destroying teams. We're the best
Right.
defense in the league right now. We got a top 5 offense in the league right now since we made this trade. We don't want to rock the boat."
Right.
So I get that part. But I think that he is also making a good point because if you look at the way our bench has performed in the last 5 games since the trade, the bench ain't been that good. They were
Man.
good against Philadelphia and they were pretty good against Portland, but other than that, they didn't really score that much.
Right. Right. Yeah,
So
we
I do
missed we
agree it's
missed
something to
52
do.
shots, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. 52 shots. That's a lot, bro. In a game. And wish it the night before that one, we missed 50 shots against Washington.
Mm. Wow. 50 plus ain't good.
Yeah. Oh, and listen, I got another update for you to make you laugh. This is how I know we're getting Tyler Hero, right? Cavs remain resistant to trading Spider, but Miami has bona fide interest. Right? So do you know what that tells me? Either the Cavs are going to get Tyler Hero and Kevin Love from Miami, or this trade that I've been floating around for what seems like a month now, that Zach LaVine is going to the Cavs and the Knicks are going to get Tyler Hero. I think that's a strong possibility. LaVine to the Cavs, Spider to Miami, Tyler Hero and Love to the Knicks, and us giving up 28 and a bunch of draft picks to Chicago.
From a purely basketball perspective, that's probably about as perfect of a move that you can make if you're New York, because Tyler Hero offensively is bang bang. He don't need to pound the rock. Now he can. He's a good facilitator for the shooting guard position, and if it's open, so just from a basketball perspective, I can see it. Now the business side, and this is where it kind of hurts you as a Knicks fan or Knicks front office, is that it's some hurt feelings in the NBA that may cause you to have to jump through some hoops to get a trade done.
Right.
Here, so now Tyler Hero is definitely somebody that if Miami call and say, hey, what y'all want? What y'all want to give up for Hero? If it's not named Anunoby, Randall, or Brunson, you probably got to do what you got to do to make it happen. Now that does mean you're probably gonna lose Hart, DiVincenzo, Grimes, and some other pieces, but you got to make that happen.
Though. I don't think you will, because if Chicago without Zach LaVine and Chicago without DeMar DeRozan is what?
Oh, that's a number one pick team.
Yeah, that's a lottery team, bro. If you're Chicago, and you and DeMar DeRozan, man, listen, DeMar DeRozan is getting traded. Everybody, we got to relax. DeMar DeRozan is gonna get traded, because everything you hear on Chicago radio and Chicago internet is that the Chicago Bulls and DeMar DeRozan are the Grand Canyon away on a contract extension, right? DeMar DeRozan still feel like he in his prime, want 5 years, and he probably want 5 years, $300 million, and or 250, right? And Chicago's like, man, we're not going to give that to a 34-year-old, 35-year-old, right? Zach LaVine already said he wanted to be traded, and if you trade DeMar DeRozan and then you trade Zach LaVine, your best two players are out, or let me rephrase it. Your best player is Vucevic. Your most valuable player is Caruso, right? Because Caruso can fetch you at least 2 first-round picks just because he's got a certain archetype. Like Caruso is like a playoff team trading for a relief pitcher, right? Vucevic, he don't have no value. Ain't nobody trading for oft injured big. Nobody's trading for today's Enes Kanter, right? Who all offense can, rebound, but nothing beyond that. And I know he's better than Enes Kanter. I'm just talking about the archetype.
I'm gonna give you a name, and
oh boy,
the reason that I'm bringing up this name is because we've talked about him before. I think he's always been talked about. And when you look at what the Knicks need, which is somebody who can score and create, somebody who's comfortable whether they start or coming off the bench. And we've seen this dude really get buckets and match some of the greatest scorers in his generation when given opportunity. I'm gonna give you one guess. I'll give you 3 hints.
Jaylen Brown.
Nope. He's not a superstar.
Anthony Edwards.
He played in the SEC. He was drafted within the last 6 years.
Jamal Murray.
Nope. He's a combo guard.
Ooh.
And his college head coach was also an NBA point guard.
Aaron Nesmith.
Very close.
I said, you said point guard, and I said Jerry Stackhouse. So I'm thinking right now, Billy Donovan, right? And Billy Donovan played at Providence, though, so that might be wrong.
Yep. Avery Johnson was the coach.
Herb Jones.
He played with Herb. I'm gonna give you the name.
Kira Lewis. I was trying not to say that name, bro.
I know you didn't want to say, but
Did you hear me say Kira Lewis?
yep.
Because I was
Listen,
trying not to say Colin Sexton, bro.
in terms of what the Knicks need, and a player who doesn't have a big ego,
Yeah.
he can help that team, man.
Yeah.
The dude is an absolute bucket.
Yeah.
We see him drop 40s on people.
Yeah.
And that's a trade to where, you got to kind of dance with the devil because Danny Ainge, but Colin Sexton's on a 3-year deal. I think he's probably making about 13, 14 million per. They also got Jordan Clarkson over there, but you got to re-sign him, I think, after a year or two. But Sexton's on a very affordable contract.
Yeah.
If you absolutely needed somebody to play point guard in the pinch, he could do it. You need somebody to, be an off-ball shooter, slasher, he could do it.
Right.
He's cool starting, cool coming off the bench, and I think that's a trade to where you could flip Fournier's contract, a pick or two, and that trade alone would not upset the starting five.
Right.
But you bring in a bona fide NBA scorer off the bench, and that would magnify the role that Quickly had because he's better at it.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be cheaper. He's gonna be cheaper than Brogdon, cheaper than Quickly would have been.
Right. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't want an Emmanuel Quickly type player off the bench. Because we tried it and it didn't work for us. Right?
Yeah.
Quickly is the best version of that player that you'd be looking for. A dude that's probably a starter somewhere else, but would come off the bench for us. That's Quickly. And if we can't win with Quickly, why would we go back to the well? Why didn't we just keep Quickly?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Personally, I would rather a scoring small forward off the bench, right? A 6'8" absolute assassin off the bench, like a 6'8", 6'9" just guy. I would love a Trey Murphy, right? That's what I would love it. I would love, but what's the name? New Orleans is not going to do anything because they're in playoff contention.
But have you seen Trey Murphy's shooting stick? My God.
I love it, bro. I love it, bro. I love him, bro.
Like, I mean, his shooting is insane. His shooting is
Did you see his finishing at the rim? I think that man is like 82% from at the rim.
Yeah. And the Knicks could have had to.
Yeah. I mean, 82% at the rim, bro. I mean, that's so disgusting, bro. It's so disgusting to make you laugh.
He does some inhuman stuff, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's my secret crush, bro. My secret basketball crush, Trey Murphy III.
I mean, I think that they can. Well, it depends on how. Because see, these teams, bro, especially these small market teams, they get by on selling, a competitive team to their fan base. Whereas we don't always, get that. Well, New York is different, but it should be championship of us. But
it should be championship of us.
It rarely is.
Did you know that dude is almost 50, 40, 90 for his career at small forward?
His shooting is insane. Like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's the guy I want right there, bro.
But I'm pretty sure that if you put your hard hat on and dig in that draft, I promise you it's a Trey Murphy in there somewhere. I promise you it is.
Man, I don't know, bro.
I promise you that it is.
Yeah.
Promise you, it's because let's be real. Trey Murphy wasn't no R.J. Barrett, Zion Williamson type recruit. He was highly recruited, but he wasn't no blue chip. Oh, it's gonna be number one overall pick type recruit, man. Like, it's some other ones out there too, like Zion Williams over there in Memphis with the same archetype.
Right.
Same archetype.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
The only thing about that the Trey Murphy thing is Trey Murphy was in a very deep draft. If Trey Murphy was coming out in this draft, he'd be number one pick in this draft. So
yeah, well, we know we can't vouch for the Knicks when it comes to drafting, bro. They miss over and over again.
Yeah,
they miss over and over again, bro.
So you got something controversial you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Whew. If we're gonna get controversial, then we got to go ahead and go to the pit of the lions, go straight to the middle of the lions den. And the most controversial topic that I will bring forth right now, and I say this and I truly mean this: if the Knicks lose in the second round of the playoffs in the same fashion that they did last year, which was semi-competitive, regardless of how we do in the regular season, it's gonna be wholesale changes.
Yeah.
Like if I'm saying, even if we win, say we win 55 games, we're going on a crazy run and we win 20 out of 25 games, right? And then we look up and the Knicks are sitting there at 35-19.
Right.
And we finish the season with 55 wins.
Right.
Even if we do that, if we go into the playoffs and we get to the second round, Rams don't show up, our role players don't show up, Tibbs get coach circles around like he did against Spoelstra, I don't think Leon will come back into the summer and say, hey, okay, we're going to build on top of this. I think he will legitimately make wholesale changes. Coaching change, Randall out of here. You may see one or two of the Villanova boys out of here. And I think you'll see an onslaught. I really think Karl Anthony Towns will be in there unless Minnesota wins the championship. I think that it's a likelihood that if the playoffs go any way close to how they did last year, Leon Rose will blow it up. I don't think he'll try to build on top of it.
I'll say this. I got two controversial things that I'm gonna say real quick. I think in one calendar year, OG Anunoby is going to be the best player on this roster. In one calendar year, one year from today, OG Anunoby will be the best player on this roster, right? And my second controversial thing is I think the front office saw that we should have been in the NBA Finals, and that's the reason why they've been systematically removing players from this squad. They saw how Obi choked at the free throw line, like how Obi had the fear of God in his eyes at the free throw line. They saw how RJ didn't show up and how Quickly didn't show up, and it got me an overnight bag packed.
Oh yeah, and you know what else? Randall would have been traded if he didn't pick it up.
Yeah,
he would have been traded.
Yeah,
even if it was at a loss, he would have been traded. He probably would have been part of the OG trade in some fashion if he didn't pick it up. So I agree that I think they are feeling the pressure to a degree because of what's happening, not necessarily with the fan base, but what's happening in other places. Because I heard a report that Indiana was so close to getting OG, like they were so close.
Right. I think that's the team. I think that's the team that's going to get Pascal Siakam. Yep. And the irony is, I think they're going to give up Obi Toppin in that trade. Quickly, Obi and RJ in Toronto. Different paths. What do you think? You think Indiana have enough pieces to get them, or you think Atlanta is a lock to send DeJounte Murray to Toronto for Pascal Siakam.
Oh, I think Pascal's out of there. I think he's out of there, bro.
Yeah.
Because he vetoed the trade to Sacramento.
Yeah.
I think what Pascal's looking for, she's looking for a situation where he can shoot as much as you want to shoot. I don't really even think it's about the money with him. I know he wants a max deal, but in Sacramento, they wasn't giving up Murray, so he would have been like the 4 or 5 shit, and I don't think he was with that. I think it's an ego deal.
Right. I think he's got one place where he wants to go. I think he wants to go to Philly. I think that's where he wants to go. I think Philly is a destination for him, but I think Atlanta has the most to offer. But I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana swooped in.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
as expected, my 9-year-old got the kitchen smoking.
Oh, so you got to get okay. All
I'm
right.
gonna get off of here, bro.
All right. Hey, y'all, hey, everybody! Thank y'all for watching. Woodshed is burning up cookies. Hey,
I
Big
knew
Boss
it.
Man.
I was joking, but I knew it.
Hey, Big Boss Man, thank you for rocking with us, man.
All right,
right,
anytime,
everybody.
man. Yep.
Hey, no doubt. All right, y'all. Peace.